Here today.
Don't hesitate.
Good morning. We call this meeting of Lebanon County Commissioners to order. We will start with our traditional observance of a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Commissioner Phillips, I think you have an item you would like to mention
Yeah, that was already.
before we.
I just wanted to mention Olivia Morrissey, who was our Fair Queen for 2025 for Lebanon County, was just voted in as the Pennsylvania Fair Queen for the whole state. So it's kind of a big honor for the county, but for the Morrissey family as well. But I just wanted to mention that in case anybody missed it.
We should invite her to a meeting and recognize her.
Well, she's a colleague out of Pittsburgh. Yeah. Yes. and she can-
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. It's time for public comment. Agenda. Anyone would like to take advantage of that this time? Seeing no takers, we'll move on. And we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting of January 15th and our workshop from January 14th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, questions, comments? None, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The minutes are approved. Thank you. Could you please introduce yourself for the record and then you may proceed with your report.
Good morning, Tina Tobias, acting treasurer. We started with a cash balance of $857,160.18. Our receipts were $1,318,618.83, brought our total cash to $2,169,779.01, less our expenditures of $1,466,901.81, less tax claim of $167,440.55, which brought our new balance to $535,436.65. That includes payroll for tomorrow.
I will move to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion second, questions, comments? None, all in favor of the motion, you can say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Board is approved. We have some additional items.
I do. North Anvil has approached us to collect their fire protection tax. It's going by millage to all their property owners. They don't currently have a township tax, but we're going to add that to our bill, our county bill. So I'm asking you to enter into the agreement with them to collect their fire protection tax.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve the North Anvil Township request on behalf of the treasurer.
Second motion.
Motion second, for questions, comments? None, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That approval.
Second, Area on Aging approached me in December, right before the holidays, about looking into changing their bank accounts. They were with Bolton, they were getting zero interest. So I approached First Citizen, who has been very good with us. Plus, it's very close to them out there on Maple Street for them to buzz over there. So they agreed to do a little over 2% interest for them on both their accounts. So I'm asking if they could change their bank accounts from Bolton to First Citizens.
I'll move to approve that request.
And I'll second the motion.
Motion second, are there any questions or comments? None, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign, and that approval.
Okay. Then we had a request for funds from the record improvement from Barb Smith, who's here with the gentleman to answer any questions for you. She's asking for $180,000. There's currently approximately $300,000 in the fund. Her total project cost is $191,542.80. So she is here along with
Keith Reynolds,
Keith
he's
Reynolds.
president of Reynolds Business System.
so they can answer any questions you have.
Well, entertain a motion, get it on the floor.
I'll make a motion to approve $180,000 from the record improvement account for this purchase.
I'll second the motion.
So, in a second, now there are questions or comments. Matt,
Mr. Chairman, I will note, you are a customer spender.
That is correct,
That's
yes.
something we had discussed, with the proprietary, so, just wanted to get that out for confirmation.
May I just, before we vote, you just want to explain the scope of this thing. This is a pretty big deal.
It is. Think I will defer.
Tina, you want to come up to,
Sure.
Which documents, for example? that type of-
Okay, and like I said, this is Keith Reynolds and he's the president of this, Reynolds Business
go
System.
ahead.
Pete, I can't understand your last name.
Reynolds,
RUYNOLDS.
NOLDS,
Okay,
correct.
thank you.
Yeah, so our company, just so everyone knows, our company, I don't want to take a lot of time, but our company is located in Lehigh County. This is our 56th year in business, and we do a lot of work with Pennsylvania counties and municipalities to help with records management projects. So we're a state co-stars vendor. We have a bunch of state contracts, and we also do a lot of work with the PHMC to make sure that all the documents are compliant with the Historical Museum Commission rules for record keeping for permanent records. So that's a big part of this project, is making sure everything is PHMC compliant. So basically, we have down in Barbara's office, civil files. There's 2.1 million pages of documents to be scanned and converted to image files for retrieval and for PDF-A files for PHMC compliance. That would be 2 sets of PHMC compliant PDFs, one to be stored off-site and one to be stored on a server here at the county. So that'll create all the compliance, so then those records can be destroyed because you have your user copy in the system and 2 backup copies per PHMC. And that will free up a ton of floor space in Barbara's department to make it accessible for other means. And it fits really well with the Records Improvement Act, because the Records Improvement Act is really designed to make records more accessible and back them up and do everything to maintain the records, because, you know, their officers are largely record keeping functions. And the Records Improvement Act was funded back in 1982. I looked it up yesterday, the day I graduated from high school, actually, and is really designed specifically for this purpose. So it all fits together very well with the Records Improvement Fund, PHMC, and the CoStar's contracting process. So yeah, we do this a lot.
The years, Jamie, are 1995 till 1999. Wait, is that right?
1995.
I'm sorry, 1990, yes, 1995 through 99,
2 million,
1999.
yes,
2.1 million pages, yes.
correct,
those 4 years.
yes. So
It's
it
a lot
takes up the whole one side of the Bonetari's office, right where the passport camera is, that whole section behind. So
I do have a question. I know we were storing things in our different warehouses. And were we also storing things out? I'm not sure where the salt flats are, but
Oh, yes.
there was a time we did that. Is there stuff out there?
there used to be, when I took over office, they were stored at Iron Mountain.
That's at Iron Mountain.
We were paying a fee to have them stored there.
Yeah,
I found out the PHMC will store them for free. I had everything sent here. We shipped it back to PHMC, so we are no longer storing at Iron Mountain.
no longer Iron Mountain. We're gonna free up space in our warehouse.
Now, okay, yes, and what we had at Iron Mountain were microfilm cartridges.
Okay,
So we have a set in our office currently, and the PHMC has our duplicate. So we do have that backed up on
okay.
microfilm. Now, this is going into PDF-A, which means the archive version of PDF,
Okay,
which is where everything's going. Nobody's microfilming anymore,
Sure.
although they are still readable and they are still good
Yeah.
quality. But
well,
this
now will
takes
these
place.
be researchable on our website?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, so PDF-A, back in the day, the PHMC required a backup copy that they called iReadable.
Mhm.
So if you scanned your records, you still had to have a microfilm copy. And about 7 years ago, there was a change in administration at PHMC and at the state archives. And at the time, the cost for microfilm storage was getting very high for them. So then they said, okay, this is ridiculous. We can't keep making microfilm in this day and age. So they adopted the PDFA standard about 7 years ago, first for state government, then for county, and then for local and municipal governments.
Mhm.
And that's the standard by which if PDFAs are created, which is an archival PDFA. So what that means is if you try and open that PDF 50 years from now, it contains everything necessary to function. It's not reliant upon a copy of Windows today to render the fonts and things like
Okay.
that. So that's why PDFA, it's a really good standard, and that's what allowed PHMC to say, okay, we feel confident in this version of a digital image to be the long-term preservation copy instead of microfilm. And it got rid of most of the microfilm today. In fact, Kodak stopped selling microfilm in the US this year
Oh,
for that reason.
okay.
Anything else?
When you say offsite, where is offsite?
IT has a cloud offsite storage method by which to do it. So the PHMC regulation says you need to keep of the PDFAs, we'll create 2 sets. One set needs to be stored here on a running server, but only accessible by administrators. It can't be used for any purpose, no active referencing, anything like that. That's what the user copy is for. And then a second copy needs to be stored offsite. Now, there's no real definition of offsite. Is that the building next door? Is that, but cloud-based storage covers that requirement.
Okay, so no hard medium beyond the cloud. I mean, in addition to.
Correct, yeah. Now, we do offer that service as well, in which case we store it in multiple medias. Yeah, IT has that covered on your end.
I talked with Thomas. He came down and also met with Mr. Reynolds. The two of them discussed ins and outs, which I don't fully understand, but he said too, we could store it in our cloud. And I did have our solicitor, Matt Boogley, review the contract just to make sure everything was up and up. So he approved of that.
Other questions? Comment to thank Mr. Reynolds for his expertise, with Barb taking this step to make things more secure and accessible. Thank you.
So just to understand, is everything, the county records from whenever they began up until 1999 on microfilm?
We started with 1995 because those are the ones that are housed downstairs. And every year we order maybe 4,000 more folders, which for the upcoming year, we need to make space. We still have records stored over at the warehouse. This I saw as a more immediate need, but we would like to eventually go back and capture those as well.
So then 2000 to present is still in paper form in your office?
Correct.
Is there a period of time, like, do you take a chunk every year and,
No,
like
this-
how much do you keep on paper form or plan to keep on paper form versus PDFA?
This is the start of it. Now when we scan, it's going into PDFA automatically. So now we can back them up. These are records that we don't have any backup at all.
And the PDFAs, I'm
It
sorry,
gets-
Mr. Reynolds,
Sorry.
you said they're only, what is kept in the office, that copy is only for administrator use. So how does the public, if they need to access one of those documents?
So there's actually 3 copies made. One copy was considered the user copy, and as far as PHMC is concerned, that can be any format, doesn't need to be PDFA. So we'll make a set of those, which are often TIFF images, that would be stored for online retrieval in their system. Then the 2 copies of PDFAs are the ones that are backup files that can't be accessed by anybody.
Okay.
So yeah, so there is a user copy. I didn't mention that, but there is a user copy of records that PHMC isn't too concerned about. As long as those are complete and accurate, then that could be any format. And that's what goes in the system of reference for staff to use and public when they're allowed to access records. And then the 2 other copies are the ones that are the backups.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay.
Matt, do
Did
you?
you? Okay. Mr. Poirier. There are no other questions, comments? We'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. You have that approval. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Tina, did you have anything else?
I'm finished, thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Michelle, good morning. Have a seat. Introduce yourself for the record and then you may proceed.
Michelle Idris Snavely, Director of Human Resources. Under Personnel Transactions, Paradag Viepa, Office Support 2/UPI Assessment Termination, no call, no show, last working day, January 9th. Oscar Carranza, Caseworker 1 in Children and Youth, rescind acceptance of employment effective February 2nd. Daniel Ober, Caseworker 1, Children and Youth, resignation effective February 4th. Kathleen Fryer, Fiscal Assistant in Children and Youth, resignation effective February 6th. Balua Long, jury attendant in the courts, resignation effective the last working day, January 12th. Gregory Hetrick, zoning officer in the planning department, retirement effective April 11th, last working day, April 10th. Bonnie Betts, part-time court clerk in the pathonetary's office, resignation effective February 3rd.
You have to approve those transactions.
Second,
Motion is second. Questions, comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
aye.
No same sign. Approved.
Under leaves of absence, Juan Lopez from the jail, 4-week all unpaid leave of absence effective January 9th. Expected return date February 4th.
Are those dates passed or am I thinking wrong?
They're passed.
Okay, so moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions, comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
No same sign. That approved.
Changes of status, transfers, and promotion. Morgan Diedrich, promotion from caseworker 1 at MHIDEI to caseworker 2 at the rate of $1,766.61 biweekly effective February 16th. Dwight Penberth Jr., promotion from probation officer 3 supervisor at probation services to juvenile deputy director of probation services at the rate of $3,654.40 biweekly effective March 1st. Teresa Velazquez, change of status from team leader at Renova to therapy aide at Renova at the rate of $19.40 per hour effective February 15th.
Move to approve those transactions.
Second,
Motion is second. Questions, comments? None, all in favor, please say aye.
aye.
No same sign. Approval.
Under other transactions, Area Agency on Aging would like to hire Bethany Rissinger Pell as a part-time meal transporter at the rate of $13.25 per hour effective February 9th. Children and Youth would like to hire the following 3 individuals as caseworker 1s, all at the rate of $1,629.56 biweekly, all effective February 9th, and that is Joshua Batista, Kelsey Hess, and Bethany Frisch. President Judge Towalk would like to rehire Patricia Young as a part-time jury attendant at the rate of $13.25 per hour effective February 6th. Department of Emergency Services would like to hire Lauren Gaidosh as a 911 supervisor at the rate of $29.56 per hour effective February 9th. And President Judge Towalk would like to hire Ada Castillo as a DJ Office Support 1 at the rate of $15.31 per hour effective February 9th.
I'll make a motion to approve those other transactions as presented.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions, comments? None, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Same sign. That approved.
Moving on to salary report, if there are no questions regarding the transactions previously read, is there a motion to adopt those transactions onto the salary board?
Motion to approve.
Second,
Second, questions, comments? None, all in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Same sign. That approved. You, anything else?
Thank you, Michelle.
On time. Mayor,
Point here.
Good morning.
please introduce yourself for the record and then you may proceed.
Erin Moyer, Administrator for Children and Youth. First, I have our budget amendment for fiscal year 24-25. The state has approved to make us whole in our over expenditure amount from 24-25 in the amount of $1,642,312. We just need commissioner approval to finalize this budget amendment. I would ask that you approve.
Also move that budget amendment.
Second,
Motion is second. Questions? Comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Aye. Pose same sign. Have that approval.
Next, I have our first quarter invoices for fiscal year 25-26 in the total amount of $5,131,299.62. And I would ask that you approve our first quarter invoices.
I'll make a motion to approve the first quarter invoices as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Motion is second. Questions, comments? None, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. That approved.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Warden,
Good morning.
please introduce yourself for the record and then you may proceed.
Sure, Tina Litz, warden at the Lebanon County Correctional Facility. I'm here for two purposes. The first is the request for support and permission to apply for the 2026 Medication Assistant Substance Abuse Treatment Grant through PCCD. I was here in September when we applied for the Residential Substance Assistant Treatment Grant, but we were denied. This new grant that's being presented, it's a non-competitive grant. Lebanon County is eligible for up to $113,000. So I'm asking for permission and support to apply for this grant. This money would be used to help offset the costs for the current MAT program at the Lebanon County Prison.
I'll move to approve the 2026 Medication Assisted Abuse Treatment Grant request.
I'll second the motion.
Motion is second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Same sign. Have that approval.
Okay, thank you. The second item on the agenda for presentation is Johnson Controls contract. So the Lebanon County Correctional Facility has had a relationship with Johnson Controls for years and years and years. And I think other departments within the county also use them for their fire protection and control. Our system is approximately 33 years old. So over the course of the years, I think in 2023, I presented to the board and you guys allowed me to pull money for $26,000 worth of needed work fixes for what we have. We get inspected annually and semi-annually, and we have to do that for safety and standard protocol, but also for the Department of Corrections inspection purposes. What has come to light is that our system is antiquated and it needs a full upgrade. I think we were trying to piece rate it through the course of time, and we're now at the position where we really need to upgrade the panel and everything with it. It is a lot of money. It was $186,000. Originally, they started at $192,000, and we met and talked through. I needed to know, what was absolute and what was not. They went back and looked, and we've met into CoStar's Sourcewells, so they're able to come back with the pricing that fits into that, which is $186,000. I understand that I don't have this money and didn't present it at budget. I didn't have everything I needed at the time. So in talking to them, and I talked to the county administrator and the solicitor, we could enter into a contract so they could order all the pieces, 6 to 8 week lead time out. I'd have the material. I would pay $99 a month, which I can do out of my budget that was approved, and then represent the balance for the 2027 budget. And that's the best solution I could come up with for the position that we're in. Their machinery and equipment is proprietary. We are in contract currently with them till the end of December 2026. So the need is great, and I'm in current contract.
So, and the lease, there's no penalty for early payoff. So we'd basically just be maintaining the lease until 27 year. You need to budget for it. It's coming. And then we pay it off.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented for the $186,000, correct? Look up on here, it says $192,390.49, which was the original amount.
That's negotiated.
Further down, it has the 186.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I just want to make sure that we're approving
Here.
the 100, yes, making sure we're approving the 186,000.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Okay, I thought we were.
The 99 monthly
Yeah,
payment.
I mean, more so now. The idea that we will keep paying it next year with the balance, but, so we're gonna approve the whole thing, but only be paying the monthly stipend for,
I guess I'm asking for approval for the loan.
Yeah.
For the whole amount with the understanding I'll be paying $99 a month until I can, I mean, if there's any money left in my maintenance budget, I'd be.
That-
Yeah,
Motion.
that is, I was,
All on the same page.
second,
Thank you.
Motion second. Any questions, or comments? Not all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Get that approval, please proceed.
Maybe I missed it, but what kind of renovations are you gonna be doing?
It's fire protection. Johnson Control does our fire protection, so it's the panels, the sensors that go throughout the facility.
Nothing like
Not
sprinklers?
necessarily construction, it's more of a system upgrade.
It's a system upgrade, yes.
No sprinkler system. And you don't anticipate it disrupting operations really?
No, it's a 3.5 month project. Those folks, because we've been with them so long, they're very familiar with the site. And we do have some areas they won't need security supervision. Other areas will be able to provide that.
You won't be moving.
We won't be moving inmates or anything, no.
Just one follow-up, how soon would these renovations take place?
Well, the first step was getting approval. The second step is signing the paperwork and getting them over to today. It's about a 6 to 8 week time for all the materials to arrive. And then they'll give me a date once it arrives for them to start the project.
So basically you're paying, roughly $1,000 this year, $99 for the remaining 10 months of the year. And then you're basically going to pay off $185,000 next year.
I'm gonna respectfully ask for that money to finish.
Okay, I just
Yes,
wanted to
yeah,
make sure
sure.
that I understood
Yeah.
what it was. Okay.
Yes, the big learning curve is that sometimes vendors on the outside world that don't deal with county government, they don't, sometimes we had to have a meeting to understand timelines and how county budgets work and when numbers have to be in, et cetera, et cetera. Again, the outside world is still recovering from COVID, like I think we have been with getting folks in for employment. So the inspections come annually and semi-annually, and then we're at the discretion of them to get the feedback for where the evaluation went. So we did have a meeting to discuss in the future. I do have a diligence to provide certain things at budget time, if at all possible. So hopefully next time I'm not in this position.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you.
thanks. Now, Chairman Tano, will you please bring forth, bring forth your other representatives and have a seat, introduce yourselves for the record.
Good morning.
And proceed.
good morning,
Morning.
morning.
Angie Luciati, Executive Director, Lebanon Transit.
Toby Flower, consultant to Lebanon Transit.
Carrie Gerantano, Director of Special Projects for LT.
Good morning.
Good morning, here we are again.
At the workshop, the last time we made a presentation, I wasn't gonna spend time going through the presentation again. But I'll just highlight that, Lebanon Transit's now ready to go to bid for its maintenance facility project. And it needs a letter of commitment to cover the $280,703 in local match that they currently can't cover. So the total amount of local match, the updated amount was $720,836. Of that, they still would need a commitment for $280,000. And we were proposing that commitment be spread over 3 years, starting next year. So it would amount to $93,000 a year, over 3 years.
Also,
Second,
A motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
I do just have one question. I'm curious. Is this saving us money versus the 70,000 over 4 years? The 93, I mean, the 28703.
Well, the 70,000 over 4 years would have required a payment in 26.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's the difference. That's what I was trying to figure out. Okay,
Which we
thank you.
budgeted for.
right, which you didn't budget for.
No,
So-
we didn't.
For those who weren't at the workshop, would you just expand a little bit on this, the higher scope and the entire cost and the other
Sure.
funding sources?
Absolutely. So the project is to rebuild on the existing site that Lebanon Transit's on, and including some additional property that they had acquired with PennDOT's help. So far, the construction estimate for the project is $48 million. It would replace the administration facility, the maintenance facility, and vehicle storage facility. And it would also consolidate the shared ride vehicles onto that site. So the other site, what's the address?
145 Snyder.
Yeah, the Schneider Drive site, with all the activity at that site would be relocated to the LT.
Will that site be sold and the money applied to this project?
I don't think at this point there's been a decision made on that, but it is a possibility.
So generally, if that property would be sold, there would be federal interest in the property from the
Or
federal
you have to
grant.
pay that back?
And you have to pay that back. And then the same thing with the state funds and the state interest. So,
Got it.
and a lot of times the state will forgive that.
Mhm.
And so that you'll get to keep the state funds, but it would be applied back to a capital account.
Okay.
So of the $48 million, right now, there's $24.6 million in federal funds. Anticipated $22.6 million in state funds, and then the remainder in local match. And of that local match, LT had applied for funding from the local share account. And they did receive an award of $116,000 from the local share account. They also have received $1,300 from the city of Lebanon, and then the difference, the remainder, has been applied out of Lebanon Transit's local share fund that they have maintained.
Thank you.
The project is anticipated to be bid out in March, so it would at the beginning of March, so it's
This timing was important that we get this out.
Absolutely.
No other question?
It's bid award in March. You're putting it out in the street shortly, right?
yes.
Other questions? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose same sign. We have that approval. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much for your support for this project. It is very much appreciated.
Good luck.
50-year facility.
Yes.
Who gets the signed copy? Should we do the signed
I'll
copy
just-
once they sign it?
I'll just send it to me and I'll make sure you get it as well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Quigley, please introduce yourself for the record and then you may proceed.
Good morning, Matt Weasley, Lebanon County Solicitor. I just have two items for consideration by the board this morning. The first is a lease agreement between the County of Lebanon and Air Methods. Air Methods, as you may recall, is the company that used to have a helicopter out at our Cornwall Road facility. Effective in the fall, it was in October, the helicopter is no longer housed there. However, Air Methods does provide services for the general area, and as a result of that, they are renting space at our tower on Cornwall Road. So the current agreement that is proposed before the board is for a payment of $500 per month from Air Methods to Lebanon County for the space on the tower.
We do have a couple of questions, clarification on the contract, please. Under number 3 use, it says an air ambulance service as opposed to the tower. Are they operating like they did from the 911 center out there?
They are not any longer. They used to have the helicopter out there. I confirmed with Bob Dowd that while they are no longer housing the helicopter at that facility,
Yeah,
they do provide services for a number of hospitals. I believe there may still be a partnership with WellSpan.
for airspace, I mean, for helicopters.
For helicopter usage, yeah.
Okay, so they are still using it for that.
They're not housing the helicopter out at Cornwall.
Then why would it be in the contract?
That I don't know.
It's in here under use under number 3. In the first line.
Well, they
Well,
use it, yeah,
The radio transmission is part and parcel to the
with
operating,
use. Yeah.
operation of an air ambulance service.
Okay, so that's not saying the ambulance is there.
Correct, yeah, the helicopter is no
I
longer
can
there.
interpret it either way.
Yeah, I understand. what
And
you're
that's
saying.
why I thought I would at least bring it to your attention. Then over on the next page, it says that the tenants can access at any time, but then it says the landlord can only access it at reasonable times. That seems backwards to me.
Yeah.
What is that about?
Well, I mean, it seems like at this point, when I was speaking to Bob Dowd about 2 weeks ago, there's a great deal of cooperation in it. Obviously, it's our facility, so we can access it at any time. And I think if there is a time that Air Methods would need to use it, would need to access it, I don't think there would be any issue with that. So
Do you think it should be changed then to all times under number 10 for landlord access?
we can make that change. Yeah, I don't.
It would seem appropriate to me, but
Yeah.
I'm not an attorney, so I thought I'd ask.
No, I think it never really has been an issue, and I don't think Mr. Dowd.
But I think this time it might be updated. And then on number 11, under common areas, it says each party's employees and invitees. That troubled me because I'm thinking if they take children under the age of 18 or something of that nature, that's a lot of liability on the county, in my opinion, but it doesn't specify. And yet down below under parking, it says tenants, employees, and guests. And I'm like, guests, invitees, these are not contractors, these are not workers, spouses and children. Should they really be?
I doubt we're talking about spouses and children. We're likely talking about maybe a
Technicians.
yeah, like a technician
Yeah.
that's for Air Methods that maybe is not an Air Methods employee, but is.
But we can easily clarify that.
I think it
Yeah.
needs clarified is my point. I'm not objecting to it. I'm just trying to make sure that it's a little more airtight, that we're not expanding our liability to spouses and children and things of that nature, because it doesn't specify. And I talked to somebody just the other day. Yeah, I used to take my daughter to work and she'd sit on the porch while I was inside doing construction. And I'm like, oh, and then I read this and I'm thinking, oh, it does leave it more liability on us.
I do think that Director Dowd exercises quite a bit of caution with respect to guarding that building.
Yeah.
So that's where I don't have much of a concern, but I can pass out your concern along
Yeah,
to.
because it talks about the kitchenette and the restrooms and all this and that, and obviously they need to get in to use the restroom, but I'm just concerned we need to tighten up the language under who is an invitee and who is a guest. I think that's the end of my comments. And again, it's not a criticism. It's tightening up the contract to protect the county.
Where does that leave us?
Well, I think it's at the discretion of the board. If the board would like to, approve it conditionally with me passing along those concerns, or if the board would like to table it. This is something that it's not necessarily a rush. It is, it's been functionally used for a long time, so I think this was just putting in a long-term agreement, so I don't think it would be bad to table it, but I think also the board could take action today.
I'll move that we approve it conditionally.
Okay.
I would agree to approve it conditionally. You've been showing your trust to us, and I know that if you say you will do something, you'll keep your word.
Thank you.
Motion second. Any questions or comments? Not, Matt, and bring it back within the next 30 days or so, clean up that language and get agreement.
I will send an email. I'll copy all three of the commissioners on it to Bob Dowd, indicating the discussion today.
Are you, yeah, I'm confused. You want to bring it back?
We're approving the transaction conditional upon Matt bringing us within 30 days a revised copy of this lease agreement.
For a second approval or change?
No, it stands unless anybody has any objection at that point.
Okay, yeah, I think we can probably maybe even take out that whole paragraph. I think a lot of that is maybe just standard in contract.
Seems like it was leftover, and that's what I was thinking, and it just, slid by. And on the other hand, we are here to protect the county, and I want to make
Yeah.
sure that's done.
All right.
All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. At the same time, about a conditional approval.
The second item that I have, this is an agreement with IWG Tower Assets LLC. This is relative to a tower that is located in Mill Creek Township at the very eastern edge of the county. DES leases space on the tower that is owned by IWG. It has operated on a month-to-month basis since October of 2022. There were some discussions beginning in the fall throughout the winter among Bob Dowd and a representative of IWG. There's now the desire to enter into a longer term 3-year contract. The proposed retroactive date, effective date of the agreement is October 1st, 2025. I did want to note for the board that it is an increase in the rate that we have been paying. The county presently pays $2,436.12. The draft agreement presently before you it contains an increase of $365.71. So the new amount then that would be paid by the county by DES is $2,801.83. And then there is a provision. I just wanted to draw your attention to paragraph 5 on page 2. There is an escalation in the rental agreement amount beginning October 1st, 2026, and each year thereafter, a 5% increase, 5% annual.
I know this is an amendment. The only question I have, I'm sorry, I didn't ask for permission. The only question I have is, should we include what the total amount is in here? We're only saying the $365.71 for a total of it. It was on the next, maybe the next thing on the agenda, but there was language in there about to a total of.
That can be added. Yeah, I contacted, Bob was going to send that over to me. I called him this morning, so that is something.
So you are taking care of it?
Yeah, I wanted confirmation on what we currently pay, and I wanted to.
Yeah, because it's not in there, and I noticed that.
Yeah, we can put the current total amount of 2,801. We can put that on the agreement.
Thank you. Then I'll make a motion to approve the contract, subject to that revision.
Second.
Motion a second. Questions or comments? None. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
At the same time, approval.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Alderman, the floor is yours.
Okay, the first item I have is a proposed resolution to increase the number of board members who would serve on the Clarence Shock Memorial Park Board at Governor Dick. The bylaws that were approved allow for flexibility by the trustee to have at least 6, but no more than 12 members of that board. It's been 6 for the last 25 years, roughly. The board has requested that you increase that number to 7. That's what this resolution would do, the language of it. It was originally, some of you will recall, originally it was set at 6 because we were co-trustees with the Psycho Foundation and the county. And it was determined at the time that rather than have one having more members than another, an even 6 would have 3 appointees from each. In 2014, the Psycho Foundation bowed out of being trustee, and it's been the county as the sole since then. So again, they're asking for an increase in the number, and would be typical of a board to be an odd number, in most circumstances. So that's the resolution 2-5-2026.
I will so move.
Second.
Motion a second. Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign.
Okay. And staying with Governor Dick, we do have a vacancy of the six, actually, which will create another vacancy adding to the seven. There is a vacancy created by the passing of Chip Wright bill. So they have done some interviews, solicited interest, and the board is recommending to you the appointment of Nicole Gray to fill the current vacancy. That term would expire in 2027.
I'll make a motion to approve Nicole Gray to the Governor Dick Board.
I'll second that motion.
And second, questions, comments? In favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign, as approved.
Next, I have MHIDEI Advisory Board nominations and reappointments. The nominating committee of the MHIDEI Advisory Board is recommending the reappointment of Andrea Anderson, Sandy Arnold, and Humphrey Malama. And at the same time, accepting the resignation of Jonathan Johnson, who has taken a new job, which creates a conflict of interest for him, and Shirley Salrazal, who has chosen not to be renewed, or is not seeking reappointment, I should say. So,
Move to approve those changes and with thanks to the folks that have served.
Second.
Motion and second, questions or comments? And all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign, as approved.
okay, Jim Donmoyer has sent over from the Lebanon County Commission on Drug and Alcohol Abuse, the proposed reappointments for Lynn Appleby of Myerstown and Patricia Vincent of Annville. And their terms would expire February 19th of 2029. Approved.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Lynn Appleby and Patricia Vincent to the Drug and Alcohol Board.
Second.
Motion and second, questions, comments? Not all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Same sign. Those people for their continued service.
And for the library system of Lebanon County, to which you appoint the members, there is a recommendation to renew Rich Raiders, who represents the Annville Free Library, and Don Klein, who represents the Palmyra Public Library. If reappointed, both of those would serve until December 31st of 2028.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second, questions, comments? None, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign, and thank those people for their continued service.
I have a snow removal contract for the Renova Center with Integrity Landworks. This contract, I've been referring to it as Plan C. The primary responsibility is of snow removal and sidewalks and things there is Cedar Haven, because we're a tenant of Cedar Haven. They had some difficulty keeping up with this last storm. So Janelle asked if we could get something in place just as a backup, that we have someone to call if need be. So it would be Cedar Haven primary. If the detail crew from the jail has time and ability to get over there to respond, they can. If not, Integrity Landworks would be in place then by contract. The other end of a phone call to come out and address things. That is shift work there. So we do have people in and out, at all times. And this past storm was pretty icy and a little bit treacherous for them to get to their cars and clean them off for the shift change. So this would be basically on a time and materials contract, and they've outlined those rates with the contract. So it's an if needed.
Yes. Jamie, at Cedar Haven, do they plow their own snow and shovel their own snow, or do they have a contract?
As far as I know, they do their own.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay,
I believe so. They have their own maintenance staff.
all right. Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve snow removal for Renova Center.
Second.
Motion and second, questions, comments? None, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign, approval.
I have a reimbursement request from the 250 committee. This would be for reimbursement to Bonnie Loy of $460 for costs related to the kickoff. And the state paid a visit on January 17th at the Historical Society. There were some refreshments provided, and this is a cost to them, $460.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion and second, questions, comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All same sign.
All right, I've got 5 requests for exemption from real estate taxes of disabled veterans who meet the qualifications for the program. They are Mary Nash of Schaefer Road, Lebanon, Jordan Allwine of Hill Church Road, Lebanon, Ray W. Bishop of Briar Edge Court, Lebanon, Thomas Riddle III of South Lancaster Street, Anvil, and David Barbaretta of Forge Road, South Forge Road, Palmyra.
I'll make a motion to approve real estate tax exemption for the 5 veterans as presented.
Second.
Motion and second. Other questions or comments? None, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Approval.
All right, I have 4 applications for hotel tax fund grants. In order of receipt, they are Spinstock Flow Arts Association will be hosting its 12th festival this June. In past years, they've advertised on billboards throughout the state, bringing visitors from near and far. Many of the vendors and performers come from out of state and look forward to their time spent here in Lebanon. The total project cost, and there's a budget attached, is $13,280. They are requesting $5,000 toward the event.
May I just ask a question? Is this a more than one day event?
No, it's
I
not.
don't know.
It's just a Saturday.
Okay, because it's very light on the hotel tax side of it. That's my only comment on it.
Motion.
I'll move that we move 2,500.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and second. $2,500. Request, any other questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. That $2,500 is approved.
The second one is an application for the Lancaster Kennel Club. And this will be for the Lancaster Kennel Club Annual Red Rose Classic and Rally Trials at the Lebanon Expo Center. They have provided a few pages of information to you. They are requesting $5,000, which is 21% of their budget of $23,030. In the description, they note it's a multi-day event, and they are adding a veterans sweepstakes this year that they believe will draw 20 additional entries.
You did mention
Like,
rooms, I think.
pardon me?
You did mention rooms.
Reserve 5.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay. I know this event, I go to this event. I want to show grace because I think that they are worthy of a multi-day event and bringing people to Lebanon. But I would ask that you counsel them on their application because their emphasis is on the Lebanon Expo Center. And I don't see a lot, and well, maybe I missed it, but I don't see information as to where these people are coming from. Is it just out of the county or some coming from out of the state? The others hit that in their explanation. I couldn't find where that was in this application. But again, I know the event and, obviously I support the expo, but I don't think the application is written to the technical questions that we ask, if that makes any sense.
Well, I don't, just with all due respect, I got that information by reserving hotel rooms would to me say that they are from out of town.
They're
As far
not,
as the hotel tax.
they're not putting it in there. I think it needs to have more emphasis on that.
Well, they do state they've secured 5 hotel rooms, but there may be additional or may not. But I think your point is it would be a stronger application
It would.
if they could make a
If
case
they
that
get,
there are more than.
if they get competition for this
Yeah.
money, they need to have a stronger application, is all I'm saying.
there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the $5,000 request with consultation on their application.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Approval.
Next is Music at Gretna. Doing business as Gretna Music. This is for their 2026 51st summer season. And would be funding some out-of-county marketing for the season. They have a total project cost of $522,000. For the season, they're requesting $5,000 toward that. They do note where their audience comes from surrounding counties and other states, Maryland, Delaware, DC, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, and others. They also had patrons from England and Canada.
Mhm. Simple as this is, it hits the points that we need.
Motion
Second.
for the second. Questions or comments? Favor, please say aye.
Mhm.
Pose same sign. And that approved, $5,000.
Okay, the fourth one I have is from the Drunken Smithy LLC. Project is the Forged Fantasy Fairy Festival 2026. They have information on the back referring to revitalization of the Lebanon Valley Mall and supporting many small businesses within the mall. They started hosting free festivals in 2023. They have customers from Lebanon, Lancaster, and Dauphin, and some who travel from Pennsylvania, other parts of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland.
65.
Yeah, 65 of the customers said they stayed in a hotel.
That's amazing that they were able to track that.
So they have a total project cost of $7,000, and they're requesting $5,000 of that.
I'll make a motion to approve the application as submitted.
I'll second it with a comment. They do meet the 25% match. So that's a qualifying thing, and we don't have a limit on the number of submissions per year.
No, we don't.
I mean, this one qualifies every other way, but it's just a comment that with limited funds, just to bear that in mind as we
Yeah,
go
I
forward.
don't remember how many there were in 2025 for this particular applicant, but there were 3 or 4. I think.
Yeah.
Either 3 or 4,
Yeah.
yeah, 25 that they applied for.
Yeah.
So,
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, motion, please say aye. Aye. Same sign. That approved.
And lastly, I would ask for the ratification of a proclamation that was presented to the Boy Scout or to the Scout BSA Expo at the Lebanon Valley Mall on Monday. And get that in the record if you ratify that proclamation.
I will so move.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions or comments? None, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. God bless the Scouts.
And then finished with this meeting, you'll have, I don't have anything further than the assessment board would meet.
Additional things come before the board? If not, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn, but note that with the assessment board will be following.
So moved.
Second.
Adjourned.
Call this meeting to order of the Lebanon County Assessment Board. Dan Seaman,
Yes,
would you like to take over there?
Sure can. Good morning,
Good morning.
and we have some exemption requests that I believe I sent up to you. So the first one is from Essentia Human Services. Essentia Human Services, if you haven't heard of them, is a nonprofit organization based in Lancaster County that provides services for people with developmental needs and autism throughout their lifespan. So these services begin at birth with therapeutic and educational programs for children and their families. Some will use services for only a few months, others throughout their lives. So they have purchased 6 properties in Lebanon County around the city for the most part right now. And at the moment, there's, one of them is their office building, and that's at 410 Cumberland Street. And then they have 5 other properties that are houses where they will provide services for those in need. So 3 of those have already been licensed. 2 of them have not been licensed as of now. So they're in various phases of reconstruction or remodeling. So the first 3 that are approved by DHS is 169 Wheatstone Lane in Lebanon, 25 East Maple Street in Lebanon, 607 North 9th Avenue in Lebanon. And I talked with Matt, and he is.
Yeah, I reviewed the application. I am recommending approval on this. I do believe that it meets the definition of a qualified nonprofit under the act. I did indicate, also I emailed the controller, whose last name escapes me, first name is Diane, on the application. I informed her that we are in receipt of all of her requests, and that I think it would be proper for the board to consider the final 2 at a later date once they are licensed. So I indicated that to her, but for the properties that are licensed, it would be my recommendation that approval be granted.
And we'll probably add on the office building at this point too, 410 Cumberland Street. And Carl was out and reviewed all these properties, so I'll let him speak about a little bit about them. So.
One of their key program officer was gracious enough to take me on a tour of anything I wanted to see. So I got to see inside all of the properties. The main one on Cumberland Street at the moment, they're basically using that just for offices, but because they can't mix residential and their offices in the same facility. So they have a couple of meeting rooms there, a couple of office rooms. They also have an ADA clinic in that property. So training, educational purposes, and then administration. The others are various forms of properties that they acquire. They spend a lot of money adapting them for ADA purposes. Everything's like brand new. It's not Taj Mahal stuff, but it's very nice and comfortable. That goes for all of them. Most of them are ranchers. The only one is a townhouse in Wheatstone, and that's actually in South Lebanon Township. So that's a really nice property. The only other interesting thing that I got from my speaking with these people is that they're really struggling to find Lebanon County people
That's what I was gonna
to
ask.
staff
Oh, to staff.
their Lebanon County properties. And she kind of was talking about that for quite a lot. She said, I wish I could find some local people instead of sending up my Lancaster people. So that was an interesting comment. She also mentioned that they do work in conjunction with a couple of Lebanon County programs to try and find Lebanon County people in need to put into these places.
And that was my main question, is how many people or what percentage of people in the housing are from Lebanon County? And I'm not saying we shouldn't take care of disabilities from other areas, but can Lebanon County residents get priority? That's my question.
It sounds like,
believe so.
and it sounds like they want that.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's
Is that part of any agreement we have?
I don't think it's a formalized agreement, but it definitely, it sounded like they want, that was the main reason why they wanted to expand.
It didn't seem like they were bringing people here.
Yeah.
To put in from other areas. So.
Because I know at Renova, we try and get Lebanon County residents first, but we will take others. Does that make sense? And I just wondered if they did something similar.
I had no indication that they were bringing people from anywhere.
Okay.
So.
All right. I just was curious.
Mhm.
Surprised that they don't derive any income from the people who reside in those homes they must be on disability, I would think. Okay.
Yeah.
And so they're just that there is no rent percentage or anything that's, part of this deal. It's pretty sweet in terms of free housing, basically.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, we have other examples that we have, that we've given this, to, that they do charge a percentage of their whatever disability payment they get, so that they can sustain the model, you know? Okay, I was just surprised that there is no,
Do they turn over their entire check as opposed to a percentage? Do you know that?
well, then that would be income.
Yeah.
This is saying no income, and so that's the part that if they did, then I would wonder if we could exempt the whole thing if they are charging rent. So that was my only reason for asking.
That's a good question.
So,
Would you find that out?
well, it says they do not derive any.
Yeah, it says,
Yeah, I'm only expressing my surprise there. So,
To clarify, Matt, you mentioned the three, you're recommending three, but you mentioned the fourth property. So what are your recommendations?
Yeah, so that, yeah, my recommendation is for the Cumberland Street property and then the three which are licensed, and then we'll wait on the other properties if they approve, once they approve license.
I'll make that motion.
second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
thank you. And then the other one we have is, Swatara Township. They purchased a property and I think it was in 24. 24, right beside their township building. And they've asked for exemption on this property. It's 2.5 acres. They're gonna use it currently for township storage and then also, future offices. So,
It would be my recommendation that it be approved, being a public purpose.
That's pretty straightforward.
So,
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
okay, solicitor has spoken. It's good to go.
so I have. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot.